Quizzy, Whizzy. Today's greatest scientists are here with facts your textbook left out.
Subscribe!
Which of them was sent home by his teacher who said he was impossible to teach? Albert Einstein or Thomas Edison? Final answer, Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison was an American inventor who gave the world the light bulb, recorded sound, and the first city power stations. He held 1,093 patents.
I lasted 3 months at school. The teacher said my head was full of mush. All I did was ask why things worked the way they did, about 200 times a day. My mother listened to him and quietly took me home by the hand. She taught me after that, and I built a laboratory in the cellar where I once nearly set the house on fire. I ended up with 1,093 patents.
Who jumped out of the bath and ran down the street shouting, "Eureka"? Archimedes or Pythagoras? And the answer is Archimedes. Archimedes was a Greek mathematician and engineer who lived more than 2,000 years ago. He worked out why some things float and others sink.
I had been thinking about that crown for days and was getting annoyed. Then I sat in the bath, the water spilled over the edge, and everything became clear in 1 second. Any object pushes out exactly as much water as it takes up, so a fake shows itself immediately. After that, I did, I believe, run down the street shouting, "Eureka!" Pythagoras never discovered anything in a bathtub. I checked.
Who flew a kite in a thunderstorm to prove that lightning is electricity? Nikola Tesla or Benjamin Franklin? You got it, Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin studied electricity back when almost nothing was known about it. He proved lightning is an electrical discharge, invented the lightning rod, and coined the words battery. Everyone around me believed lightning was the anger of the heavens. I believed it was a spark, only an enormous one, and I badly wanted to find out. But let me say this clearly. Never, ever try this. Storms kill people, and I simply got lucky that day. What came out of it was the lightning rod, and houses all over the city stopped burning down. Who won the Nobel Prize twice in 2 different sciences? Albert Einstein or Marie Curie? Drumroll please, Marie Curie. Marie Curie was a physicist and chemist who discovered 2 new elements, polonium and radium, and radioactivity itself. She is the only person in history to hold Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences.
My first prize was in physics, shared with my husband. The second was in chemistry, on my own. In between, there was a war, and I drove X-ray machines to field hospitals because wounded soldiers had no use whatsoever for my medals. My laboratory notebooks are still kept in lead-lined boxes. They are radioactive and will stay that way for another 1,500 years.
Who kept a favorite pigeon in his hotel room and said he loved her like a person? Thomas Edison or Nikola Tesla? Absolutely right. It's Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was an electrical engineer who developed alternating current, the electricity flowing through every socket in your home right now.
Yes, I had a pigeon, white with gray wingtips, and she understood me better than most people did. Don't laugh. When she fell ill, I dropped everything and sat beside her. I also counted my steps to work, divided everything by 3, and folded exactly 18 napkins at dinner or I couldn't eat at all. Edison used to snicker and call me an oddball, perhaps, but an oddball without whom your lights would not be on.
Who sailed around the world for 5 years while being seasick the entire time? Charles Darwin or Captain Cook? The surprising truth, Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was a biologist who explained where all the living variety on Earth came from. His theory of evolution says species change slowly.
5 years. 5 years of feeling awful every single day, and nobody could do a thing about it. I lay in my hammock completely green, then went ashore, collected beetles, tortoises, and birds, drew all of them, and climbed back on board to suffer some more. Once home, I spent 20 years too nervous to publish what I had worked out, checking it over and over. Captain Cook was a great sailor, but he never counted beetles.
Who wrote the world's first computer program 100 years before computers existed? Marie Curie or Ada Lovelace? Of course, it's Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace was a mathematician and the first programmer in history. In 1843, she wrote an algorithm for a mechanical calculating machine a full century before the first real computer existed.
Mr. Babbage built a machine out of gears and levers and was quite certain it was good only for numbers. I wrote it a step-by-step set of instructions, the very thing you call a program today. I also wrote that one day, a machine like it might compose music. Everyone laughed at me, very politely. I was 27, computers did not exist, and would not for another century. But I already knew I was right.
Who discovered a cure for deadly diseases thanks to dirty dishes? Louis Pasteur or Alexander Fleming? And the winner is Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming was a doctor and microbiologist who discovered penicillin, the world's first antibiotic. Before him, a person could die from an ordinary scratch.
I will admit it, I am not the tidiest person alive. I went away on holiday, left dirty dishes on my bench, and came back fully expecting a telling off. Instead, there was mold, and around it, a perfect clean circle where every bacterium was dead. I could easily have just washed up and noticed nothing at all. So yes, children, do clean up after yourselves.
Who calculated spaceflight paths by hand with a pencil and paper? Katherine Johnson or Ada Lovelace? Yep, Katherine Johnson. Katherine Johnson was a NASA mathematician who calculated the paths of space flights. Her numbers put the first American astronaut into orbit and helped Apollo 11 reach the moon and come home again.
The computer back then was brand new, enormous, and nobody quite trusted it. Glenn said it plainly, get her to run the numbers, and if hers matched the machine's, then I'll fly. So I sat down with paper and a pencil and calculated for several days straight. The numbers matched, he went up, and he came home safely. At school, I asked so many questions that they moved me up several grades at once. Turns out it was a useful habit.
Who first saw living bacteria by examining the plaque from his own teeth? Antony van Leeuwenhoek or Robert Hooke? This is it, Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Antony van Leeuwenhoek was a cloth merchant who ground his own lenses and became the father of microbiology. He was the first person ever to see bacteria.
I was actually a cloth merchant, and I ground glass so I could inspect threads more closely. Then I got curious about looking at absolutely everything. A drop of puddle water, rainwater, the plaque off my own teeth. And something in there was swimming, alive. I called them little animals and wrote to London about it. And at first, nobody believed a word. Robert Hooke certainly looked through a microscope, but he never put his own teeth under one.
Tell us in the comments whose discovery you liked most.